I've read somewhere that there is a book called Your Tongue Determines Your Destiny. Although the content of this book has nothing to do with this video, but when I saw the title of this book, the first face that came to my mind was Kunal Kamra's. Yes. First things first, through this video, I'm not intending on a media trial or pronouncing a verdict. No, that's just not the intention of this video. The intention is just to analyze the facts of his contempt case and let you guys know about the contempt of court law and the right of freedom of speech and expression. Yes. But before I go ahead and tell you more about Kunal Kamra versus the Supreme Court and what is the right to freedom of speech and expression, दोस्त 2021 की कसम है, please go ahead, like, share, subscribe and comment your opinions below. Do it. तारीख पे तारीख हर वीडियो देखते हो और बोलते हो अगले बार करूंगा. प्रॉब्लम क्या है? सब्सक्राइब बटन दबाओ उधर. चलो, प्रमोशन खत्म, काम शुरू. Let's get to it. Though we have this fundamental right from a very long time where we can go ahead and express our thoughts and all of these things, the concept of intolerance and fascism became an everyday topic after 2014 and was constantly said that the right to freedom of speech and expression is being unwantedly controlled by the government of India. But there are some myths and disbeliefs. Trust me, we're gonna cover them today. So my intention with this video is to break those myths and let you know about this controversial fundamental right that is the freedom of speech and expression. What is the freedom of speech? In our Constitution, Article 19(1)(a) gives us the right, but listen to me carefully, alright? It is a fundamental right available to all, but open ears when I'm talking about this. It's not an absolute right. No. Yes, you heard me right. When the Constitution was drafted, our lawmakers were so futuristic about its misuse, and they knew that if made absolute, then no right would be more misused than this. Therefore, they made it conditional. When Article 19(1)(a) gives you the right under the clause, there is a twin brother Article 19(2), which comes with some reasonable restrictions, which means that when you are expressing something through the form of verbal or non-verbal or expressive forms, you need to keep the reasonable restrictions in your mind, and you cannot speak or do anything against it. You cannot say you were only expressing your fundamental right. Now I'm sure, of course, you will have the doubts in your mind. What are the restrictions when they speak about freedom of speech or freedom of expression? Stay with me. I'm going to tell you all about it today. The first thing, anything against the sovereignty and integrity of India. Don't do that, boy. Why do you want to do that? Point number 2, anything against the security of the state. इरादा क्या है तुम्हारा? Point number 3, anything against friendly relations with foreign states. दोस्त लोग के बारे में बुरा नहीं बोलने का. कितने बार बोलूं? Point number 4, anything against a public order. एक बार ऑर्डर दे दिया तो दे दिया, कैंसिल नहीं होता है ऑर्डर भाई, सुन लो. Point number 5, anything against decency or morality or in relation with contempt of court. Simple है, simple है एकदम. और क्या? Point number 6, anything that is defamatory or incites an offense. इतना इजी तो है यार. क्या कुणाल भाई, प्रॉब्लम क्या है तुम्हारा? तुम भी ना इस चक्कर में फंस गए. किस चक्कर में फंस गए? Now, whenever you raise your voice without reading about these reasonable restrictions, let me tell you, you will be prosecuted accordingly with the respect to the laws related to such offense. The fun fact is, there are still good number of people who innocently believe that they have the right to say anything. Lol. I just want to say to those people, please, get your facts and your GK done nicely, no? क्या problem क्या है? Or else you would have to express yourself from behind the bars. क्या problem? Now I hope the constitutional part is clear, right? Let's move on to the next aspect of this video. Prashant Bhushan and Kunal Kamra controversy. Scene क्या इन लोग का? क्या किया इन लोग ने कि इतना हल्ला बोल हो रहा है इधर? Now let's come to the contempt of court law with special reference to Kunal Kamra and Prashant Bhushan case. Firstly, I want to tell you guys that defamation and contempt of court law are like orange and grapefruit. May look slightly confusing to a layman, but are completely different. बहुत अलग है. संतरा, अंगूर सेम होता है. Example, if you defame a normal person or even a judge relating to his or her personal life or personal capacity, then that is defamation. But when you scandalize the image of the judiciary or try to interfere in the functioning of the court, then that is contempt of court law. Now, let's come to the case of Mr. Prashant Bhushan, the senior advocate from Supreme Court. In his case, through his tweets, here are his tweets, check it out. He criticized the Supreme Court as well as Chief Justice of India, S.A. Bobde, and he criticized Justice Bobde within his capacity of being a judge, and when the court gave Mr. Bhushan a chance to go ahead and give an unconditional apology, he did not. And later, he was punished with a fine of 1 rupee. Being one of India's most efficient lawyers, he was punished and the court found him guilty of this act. Now let us come to the talk of the town, Kunal Kamra. Kunal bhai. आप देख रहे हो अनरिपब्लिक टीवी. कुणाल कामरा को क्या जेल के कमरे में बंद किया जाएगा? ओह सॉरी, कभी कभी ऐसा कैरेक्टर में आ जाता हूँ बीच बीच में. इतना टीवी चल रहा है आजकल घर पे, क्या बोलूं. There are different opinions about Mr. Kamra being a comedian among the public, which he is. And he's a person whose plots are mostly political and especially anti-Modi government comedies, right? Comedian hai, bol diya. Some say that his skits is everything but comedy. यार ठीक ठाक तो है बंदा, ऐसा कौन बोलता है? सुनील पाल को देखो फिर. And some find him a very talented comedian. ये अपना लुई सीके है, समझ रहा है ना? अरे भाई सीके नहीं, वो पीके ट्वीट करते रहते हैं. क्या चल रहा है ये सब? चुप रहे यार, चुप चुप चुप. वीडियो बना रहा हूँ, मत करो ये सब, रुको. Look, I'm not trying to be the judge of comic stand. No. That's not the intention. I'm not getting too much into his jokes. No. But let's talk about his tweets. Here are his tweets, right? As per the Contempt of Court Law Act 1971, prima facie his tweets can be called as contempt of court. And here, we are not analyzing his political opinions or his intention or agenda behind posting or, commenting all of these things and scandalizing statements, blah, 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 blah. But some of his tweets can be classified as vague and the court might keep it aside. But in my opinion, as per my understanding about the Contempt of Court Law of India, the image of painting Supreme Court in a saffron color with a BJP flag in front of it and comparing Justice D.Y. Chandrachud to a flight attendant who serves champagne to first-class passengers, calling Supreme Court as compromised by saying, "Who am I to scandalize the already compromised?" are clear offences which fulfill the essentials of criminal contempt as per the Contempt of Courts Act. ज्यादा सोचने की बात तो है नहीं इस चीज में. कुणाल भाई, क्या मिला? कुछ मिला क्या? मिला तो बोलो, हम लोग भी नहीं करेंगे ये चीज. अगर कुछ मिल गया तो नाचो. Also, Kunal Kamra has the audacity to even say he's been unapologetic about what he said and has asked Supreme Court to replace photos of Mahatma Gandhi and Nehru with the photos of Advocate 𝗘𝘅𝗽𝗍𝗍 and Mahesh Jethmalani. Well, by these tweets, even Twitter got into trouble when the parliamentary panel grilled them by asking why his tweets against the court weren't even taken down. Why was it even allowed to stay there? Now, the matter is in court and the Honorable Court is yet to give a verdict on this matter. Indian law versus foreign law in this regard. At least to all of the people that say, USA में देखो कितना freedom है, इतना सारा, इतना freedom दे दिया, इतना सारा, बहुत freedom है, इतना freedom है, इतना, ये लोग एक freedom लोग. Listen, all the people that say Attorney General should see how much freedom that is available to the comedians in US. I would like to tell those people who are more thirsty for freedom than what has already been served. India is India. And we have Indian laws with the largest written constitution with appropriate fundamental rights and the law that are appropriate for Indian society. And therefore, comparing law is simply a waste of time. And yes, listen to me. Me. Yes, the grass is always greener on the other side. When was the last time you said you had it all? Okay, the conclusion, my perspectacles to this. Once more, I'd like to tell you guys that your right ends at the tip of the nose of the other person. And every right comes with a duty. So when you have a right, remember, the same is available to the other as well. Don't forget about that. Think about that twice before speaking. Your tongue might not have a bone, but it's enough to send you behind bars. My name is 𝗙𝗲𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. I'll see you next week. Peace. Stay safe.